We moved in together 4 months ago. We just finished the last room of the house tonight. I had this idea that he'd at the very least let me have just one room of my own, since it is a 4-bedroom house and there are only 2 of us, plus my dog and his dog living here. So what are the other 3 rooms really going to be used for, since one of them is the bedroom we share? Well, one of those rooms is his game room and office, which, whatever, obviously I don't care, and I shouldn't since it's not a house I bought. Another one of those rooms he has used as closet space and the dog's kennels. They don't get free range of the house when nobody is there to watch them on the days they aren't at daycare, which is once a week. However, I give him $800 for half of his mortgage each month, plus half of his utilities. So realistically, I'm paying half of his mortgage, and I feel I should have some sort of say in the decor area. Anyways, tonight I asked him if I could possibly have one of the bedrooms to just make my own. Just my own space where I can have my makeup vanity and my desk and gaming setup as well. Just somewhere I can go when I want to be alone in a space I can call mine, decorated how I want, etc. It was a hard no. He said the other 2 rooms are meant for a guest room, which again, great idea since we have friends over for wine nights and boys' nights which involve alcohol. And if anyone wants to stay over instead of trying to find a ride home, they can. And a nursery when the time comes that we have a baby. I don't really have a space to call my own. He said, "Isn't your vanity and desk fine where they are? My makeup vanity is in our room, taking up a lot of space in our bedroom, and I hate having someone next to me when I get ready, and he knows that, so I don't even really use my vanity. I just lock myself in the bathroom. My desk is in the basement. The basement is cold and dark, and I hate going down there because I feel like the darkness takes a toll on my mental health, so I don't really go and play my games anymore." Again, he knows this. I said to him, "I put just as much money, time, and effort into renovating your house. I feel like I deserve my own space. I pay half the bills, do all of the cleaning, and all of the cooking. Maybe it's fair that I can have a space." And he says, "This is my house. I'll do what I want in my house, and you are going to have to deal with it if you want to keep living here." He won't let me decorate anything, so the only home this feels like is his home. He made me put all my belongings from my apartment away in the basement because he didn't feel like any of it matched the aesthetic of his, except for my 85-inch OLED TV, my surround sound, my marble fireplace stand, and my king bed. The only things he let me keep upstairs were my expensive items. He won't even let me have my dresser upstairs, so all of my clothes are downstairs in the boot room closet. I feel so defeated. I'm never able to really be alone unless he's in his office. Because I refuse to just hide away and rot in bed, I just really only have the couch, and then he comes and bombards me. How do I talk to him about this? Any advice is appreciated. To add, the nursery room is being taken up by his clothes and the dogs at the moment. I told him, "Why don't you put your clothes in your closet in your office? Since there's nothing occupying that office anyway, and put the dogs' kennels in the basement since they are only used once a week." He just scoffed and walked away. Now for an update. I had a talk with him. I told him this place doesn't feel like home to me, and I feel super saddened by how he has reacted to me asking for my own space. I told him I'd never be able to respect him or this home because of how he is acting. I told him I texted my friend and asked her if she'd be willing to let me move back to my apartment for a couple of months until I figured out a new place to live, as I didn't want to kick her out in the middle of the new semester. She said of course. He didn't seem to like the idea of that situation. He said to me, "I didn't know you didn't feel at home. I got this house for the sole fact that I wanted to start our lives together as a couple. I'm sorry I reacted the way I did." I told him that I no longer want to pay his mortgage and that I'll only be paying my share of bills, utilities, and groceries from now on. He told me he didn't want any money from me anymore and that I can pick any of the rooms that aren't our bedroom to have as my own. And over the next week, he will paint and move my belongings into it in a way I like. He told me to go through Amazon and pick any decorations I want, hang up any shelves and pictures I may like, and that it is my room and only my room. He also told me I can put up any decorations I like around the house that will make me more comfortable, and asked me if I'd like to write up an agreement that would protect both of us if we do split up. I agreed, so we will be contacting a lawyer over the next couple of weeks. He offered to buy me a new dresser that would match the bedroom to put my clothes in our room, which is nice, not having to go back downstairs. I'm happy I can have my own space with my games and my computer for school, and somewhere I can sit and do my makeup upstairs with the rest of the family. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. He clearly sees you as a renter, so you should demand a proper rental lease that outlines what space you inhabit and what your rights are. This is to protect you because he would have to give you advance notice to evict you, and to protect him in case there are any palimony laws in your jurisdiction that might allow you to sue him over ownership of the property. Leading with your emotions and just moving into someone else's home with no formal designations as to the nature of the landlord-tenant relationship is always going to lead to confusion and resentment. Comment 2. You got duped. I'm sorry about the egg all over your face. You got conned into funding this person's renovation. Your only role in his life is as a piggy bank. He doesn't value you, just what your money can do to simplify his life. You should leave before you waste another cent on him. He's not your future. He doesn't even care about you. If he did, he would care about your needs in the house. Now for the update. It's been just over a month since I last posted, and things have been mostly chill at home. Just wanted to update y'all on how things have been going. My partner and I have been living together for over a year now, and we recently finished fixing up the house we bought together. At first, I felt a bit out of place in our home, but after a talk with my partner, I now have my own room that I can decorate however I want. It's been awesome having my own space. I've been able to decorate it how I want, and it's really come together nicely. I even have space for my schoolwork, my games, and my makeup. My partner has been super supportive, even helping me organize my space, and he bought me a new dresser, which was really nice. He even set it up for me. It's nice to have a partner who helps out and is always willing to lend a hand. We've also started a weekend routine of cooking together. It's something we both really enjoy. We set aside time on the weekends to prepare meals together, and it's been a lot of fun. We're always trying out new recipes, and we usually listen to music while we cook. It's a nice way to chill after a long week. So my ex-best friend Amy, who is now my ex-friend, invited everyone over for a gender reveal party at her house this past weekend. My partner and I went, along with his brother and sister-in-law. The vibe was light, and everyone was eager to find out the baby's gender. I was surprised my partner wanted to go, but he said he was curious, so we went. I really hope my ex-best friend Amy is okay because she was acting so strange. I know it's supposed to be about the baby, but she was acting so weird. She kept looking at my partner and me while holding her husband's hand. It was like she was looking for something. I'm not gonna lie, at first I thought she was looking at me because she thought I was gonna snatch her husband or something, but it was definitely my partner she was staring at. It was honestly so weird. The couple revealed they were having a girl, and there were cheers and congrats all around. I didn't really care. The whole thing just felt so off to me. I wanted to get out of there ASAP. During the celebration, I overheard my partner talking to his brother about future plans for kids, and I just wanted to throw up. I couldn't believe he was talking about that stuff with his brother. I know we were at a gender reveal party, but we still haven't really talked about having kids together, so I was pretty upset hearing him talk about it. After the party, I asked my partner about it, and he brushed it off, saying it was just talk. He said his brother was just asking him about it, and he was just answering. A few days later, I found a pregnancy app on my partner's phone. I confronted him about it, and he admitted he was curious, but said it was nothing serious. He said he was just looking at it out of curiosity. I was still feeling really off about everything, so I decided to make a trip to clear my head. We attended a family dinner at my partner's parents' house the following weekend. During dinner, his mom brought up how excited she was about becoming a grandmother. My partner seemed to enjoy the conversation, laughing and nodding along. I felt like I was going to throw up. I couldn't believe he was acting like that. I don't even know why I was surprised. A week later, I visited my parents for Sunday brunch. My mom casually asked if my partner and I were planning to have kids soon. I deflected, saying we were still figuring things out. I didn't want to get into it with her. I just wanted to enjoy brunch and not talk about my partner and what he was doing. A few days later, I overheard my partner on the phone discussing baby names with a friend. It was just the last straw. I decided to take a step back and focus on myself, starting with a weekend away. I booked a short trip to a nearby town to gather my thoughts. My partner seemed distant when I got back, and the vibe at home felt heavy. We both agreed to talk again, but didn't set a specific time. To answer a few questions, my partner and I had already talked about kids a year ago, where we agreed to wait 3 years. His sudden interest in kids now, without discussing it with me first, is what's bothering me. The gender reveal party was awkward for me, adding to my feelings. Am I the idiot for refusing to accept my abusive ex-husband as part of my family's life? My ex-husband, Jason, is trying to take my place in my family. For some background, Jason and I broke up almost 4 years ago due to abuse in the relationship on his part. After we broke up, he remained in contact with my family, doing things like coming around for family dinners and joining us during holidays. A few months after our breakup, we still lived together as we had a lease. However, as soon as I could, I not only left the house, but moved to a whole new country to get away from the situation. I was able to land a great job overseas. Since then, he has continued to get closer and closer with my family. I tried not to let it bother me, but it did. This weekend, everything came to a head when he decided to introduce his new girlfriend to my family. He is trying to bring her around them so she will be welcome in their house. I tried telling my family how uncomfortable this makes me feel. I told them not only is he my hurtful ex-husband, but he is not their son. I really want them to support me and recognize how badly Jason hurt me during our marriage. They told me I'm being dramatic and to get over it. I have put up with so much in terms of them keeping a relationship with him. However, the fact that Jason's new girlfriend, who is 21 by the way, will be spending more time with my family than me is infuriating. I'm not sure what I can do to get my point across for them to realize this isn't appropriate. If they want to have a connection with Jason, I won't stop them, but basically having him around as family has really pushed the limit for me. Any ideas on what I can do about this situation? It's ruining my holiday season knowing this random woman and my ex will be spending Christmas with my family, and I will not be. Also, to clarify, I have absolutely no romantic feelings for Jason. The reason him bringing his new girlfriend around irritates me is that I feel like that's something you do with your own family. From what I've heard, Jason's family hasn't even met his girlfriend yet, but my family has. I can add additional clarification if needed. Thank you all in advance. Now for an update. I told my mom that I'm going to cut contact for a while. She responded, "Wow, I am so confused about what all the dilemma is about. I feel that you're basically saying that we are not allowed to have people over our house if it is not approved by you or your sister. That is wrong. I could see if you were here and they came over. I recommend you put some thought into it. We love you." I'm going to leave her unblocked for the next few hours so I can express in detail the exact problem, but by tomorrow, I will be blocking them all. I really appreciate all of the advice. I don't know how I never realized how bad it was until now. Now for another update. I have now cut contact with my family that supports Jason. As I said in my earlier update, I left my messages open for one last day. I got this message from my dad. "You can never be replaced. Neither you nor your sister can be replaced. Jason has been in our lives for a while. He has done nothing to us, and no, we are not using him to help with Pops. He watches my sick grandpa sometimes. I've had him over here and there for burgers the same as I have had Matthew, my sister's ex, over to eat without you or your sister with them. I have a huge problem with this when you think or say you're being replaced. That could never happen in a million years. I cannot hate someone that has not done anything to me. If you would have said something while you were together that he was hurting you physically, that could have been taken care of very easily. You probably would have hated me even more after the fact. Besides all this, I just wish you knew that you cannot and will not ever be replaced. I call you both my kids when I talk to people about you both. I'm proud of how you have ventured out in life. I'm proud of your sister. It breaks my heart that you get so mad at us over this and would never talk to us again if we talked to Jason's girlfriend. So there we have it. No way to deny anything to myself anymore. Again, thank you to everyone who has been in my corner. Thank you for all of the advice. It's time to move forward with my life in a positive direction. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. So my tactic would be slightly different than just cutting them off. Original poster. I would create a group chat with every single member of the family and extended family, and include friends and acquaintances of the family. I would then detail the abuse that you suffered at the hands of your ex, and how your family has supported and continues to support him. Be nice and detailed so that the extended family and others get the full picture. I would state that you will go full no contact with your family and anyone who supports your ex unless a series of conditions are met. I would hit send, get my popcorn, and then watch the monkeys scramble. Comment 2. Honey, that's just your biological family, not real family. Sometimes family are those you make or find yourself. He's getting a rise out of you, and he knows it. You moved counties, yes? Stay away. Find your own people. It's hard, but worth it. That's not your family. They died the moment they continued to support your aggressor. It's okay to grieve for the perception, hopes, and dreams of your family. Sadly, they aren't who you thought they were. Pity the kid. She's being brought to her boyfriend's ex-in-law's house. How uncomfortable. He's chosen a child because she's easier to control. He will abuse her too. Now for the update. One day after my last post, I got this text from my sister, Kate, inviting me to a family dinner to celebrate my parents' anniversary. You know, the usual family drama, right? But then she casually mentioned that Jason and his new girlfriend would be there. Like, really? This guy just can't take a hint and disappear from our lives completely? Just the thought of it made me feel all sorts of uneasy. The dinner was set to happen at my parents' house, which is known for its cozy atmosphere and all the family traditions. You know, the place where you can almost feel the tension in the air. I debated whether to even show up, but in the end, I decided to suck it up and go for my family. I mean, it's not their fault that this jerk won't leave us alone, right? So I pull up to my parents' house that evening, and as soon as I get out of my car, I see Jason's new girlfriend just laughing it up with my family. Like, seriously? How can they all just act like nothing happened? It was just adding to my frustration. The dinner started with the usual chit-chat, but honestly, I felt like I was watching a movie from outside the theater. They were all so lively, and I was just sitting there feeling completely disconnected. My dad raised a toast, talking about family unity and love, and I almost choked on my food. The irony was just too much to handle. During dinner, Jason tried to talk to me, asking about my new job in another country. I mean, it's not like he actually cared. I kept my responses short and to the point, just trying to get through the evening without causing a scene. At one point, someone brought up a past family vacation, and suddenly I was the center of attention. Kate noticed that I was silent and tried to break the ice by reminiscing about a funny moment from that trip. Then Jason chimed in, trying to add to the story, and I just wanted to crawl under the table. After dinner, we all moved to the living room for dessert. Jason's new girlfriend mentioned how much she loved family gatherings, and I just wanted to roll my eyes. While I was washing my hands in the bathroom, I overheard Jason and Kate talking outside the door, discussing future family plans involving his girlfriend. I just couldn't take it anymore. I left the bathroom and returned to the living room where the atmosphere had shifted. Everyone seemed to be sharing some inside joke that I wasn't part of. Jason's girlfriend pulled me aside, asking how I felt about Jason being around. I tried to keep it vague and told her that I wasn't really comfortable with it, but she's free to enjoy herself. We shifted back to general topics, but I could feel the tension lingering, especially between me and Jason. My mom suggested we play a family game, and everyone joined in, but I just sat back and watched. I felt so excluded. I mean, They all knew what this guy did to me, right? During the game, Jason made a remark that felt like it was directed straight at me. I couldn't help but glare at him. After the game, my dad announced that they were making plans for a family trip. And guess what? They wanted to include Jason and his new girlfriend. I just couldn't take it anymore. I pulled Kate aside and expressed my discomfort about Jason being around. I told her that I couldn't keep coming to these family gatherings with him there. She insisted that Jason had changed and that he deserved a second chance. I felt like I was talking to a brick wall, but we moved on. At the end of the night, I calmly informed my family that I wouldn't participate in any future gatherings involving Jason. My dad protested, saying it wasn't fair to exclude someone who hadn't done anything to them. I mean, seriously, how can they be so blind? The tension escalated, and family members were exchanging looks, unsure of how to respond. My mom tried to mediate, but I stood my ground. As I was leaving, Jason called out after me, asking if I was really going to cut them all off. The guy just doesn't get it. A few days later, I got a message from Kate, upset about the confrontation and asking to talk. I agreed to meet her at a local coffee shop to discuss the family's reaction. I mean, what else could I do? I wasn't going to avoid her forever. At the coffee shop, Kate expressed her disappointment, but I reiterated my stance on prioritizing my mental health. We ended up arguing about the family dynamic, and she accused me of being selfish. Like, who does she think she is? By the end of our conversation, Kate reluctantly acknowledged my feelings, but she felt torn between family loyalty and understanding. I mean, I get it. She's my sister and all, but she needs to wake up and see that this family isn't as perfect as she thinks it is. To answer a few questions, my sister Kate was the only one who reached out after the dinner. Other family members ignored my boundaries and continued to pressure me. My parents did not respond positively to my decision and expressed disappointment. They expect me to accept Jason and his girlfriend as part of the family. I haven't made any decisions about cutting off family members completely, but I feel like I'm heading in that direction. My relationship with Kate is strained, and I don't know where it will lead. I'm focused on my mental health and will take time to decide about the family. Am I the idiot for telling my older sister to stop bullying our younger sister into being her surrogate? I'm stuck in a tough situation between my two sisters. Shirley, 30 years old, and Mary, 22 years old. Shirley's always been the bossy big sister, and Mary's the sweet, passive one who'll do anything to keep the peace. This dynamic has been our norm for as long as I can remember. Shirley and her husband have tried to have children for 2 years now, but the 3 pregnancies she had during this time were terminated before the 11th week. They've been devastated, which I genuinely feel for. The problem is that Shirley latched onto the idea of Mary carrying the baby for her. Mary's set to graduate from college in 4 months, and the plan is to start the process immediately after. Mary says she's okay with it, but she always just looks sad about the things she'll miss, like partying or her favorite foods, since Shirley will have her move in to make sure she's following a specific pregnancy diet, or she seems anxious about the process itself. When we've talked about it, she said things like, "Shirley's done a lot for me, this is the least I can do for her," or "She's really counting on me, I don't want to let her down." She keeps brushing off her own doubts, and it's so obvious to me that she's only agreeing because Shirley's guilt-tripping her. Mary seems to also be mourning her body, doing a lot of body checks in the mirror, and once she laughed anxiously, joking about how it's all gonna go. I think partly because, yes, it will change a lot, but also because Shirley keeps making comments about how Mary won't be cute and skinny anymore. These comments make me furious, but every time I push back, Shirley dismisses me, saying she's just telling the truth and I don't understand sacrifice for family. I'm worried because Mary has always looked up to Shirley, to the point of idolization. I think she's afraid of saying no because she doesn't want to disappoint her and because of the absolute hell she'd make. But I can see how uncomfortable she is when this whole surrogacy thing comes up. She also keeps looking up pregnancy complications and birth videos, and I can see she's so anxious about the whole thing. I don't want to overstep or make things worse, But I also can't just sit back and watch Mary sacrifice her body and mental health for something she doesn't want. I've tried talking to her about whether this is what she truly wants, but she just deflects and says, Shirley has been through a lot and deserves this. How do I get more involved? How do I approach Mary without making her feel more pressured? How do I help her see that it's okay to say no if she doesn't want this? Would going to Shirley help with anything? To add, for those asking about official clinics, they didn't go to a clinic with Mary specifically yet, but I'm afraid that won't be enough to get her an easy way out. They had to have some treatments or exams where, from what I understood, only about 20% of Shirley's eggs were good for use. They've had talks about how if the pregnancy has risks because of her eggs, she's open to having a child not of her own, as she puts it. That's one of the reasons why she wants Mary, because if she needs the eggs, it's the closest DNA she has to her own. So when they find out a clinic won't do it, I think they'll just spend a few months getting used to the idea of doing it themselves, and then do it. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. This is something you must fight tooth and nail about and kick up a lot of fuss, especially since it seems like Shirley's final boss move is likely to force Mary to become pregnant and then give up her own biological baby to Shirley, which starts to sound like human trafficking, since you can't just take other people's babies, sister or not. Your dad needs to get involved too to stop this nonsense. Comment 2. Unless they don't go through an agency, she will be disqualified since she has never carried a pregnancy to term. She needs to say no. It doesn't matter what Shirley has been through. She has baby fever and doesn't care if she destroys Mary's mental and physical health in order to get what she wants. It doesn't entitle her to access to Mary's body. She's selfish. Where are your parents? Now, for the update. I'm back with another update on this whole mess, and it's gotten way worse since I last posted. My sister Mary and our other sister Shirley have officially started the surrogacy process. I can't believe this is actually happening. Mary moved in with Shirley to get ready for the pregnancy, and I thought maybe that would help her realize what a huge commitment this is. But nope, she's all in, and I'm freaking out. A couple of weeks ago, we had a family birthday dinner for our dad at this local restaurant. It was supposed to be a nice, normal family thing, you know? Everyone was there, and I was just trying to act like everything was fine. But then during the dinner, Shirley brought up how great it would be when Mary is pregnant. Like, what the actual heck? The whole table just went silent, and Mary shifted in her seat like she was caught off guard. I noticed her avoiding everyone's eye contact, and Shirley just kept going on and on about how excited she was. I couldn't take it anymore. So after dinner, Mary and I stepped outside for some fresh air. She looked so stressed. She asked me if I think Shirley will change once the baby arrives. I didn't know what to say, honestly. I just told her that I wasn't sure, but that we could hope for the best. That was it for that night, but a few days later, we had a holiday gathering at our grandparents' house. Mary was already looking really stressed, and when we got there, Shirley started showing off all these baby clothes she had bought, saying they were for Mary. I swear, I saw Mary's face go pale when she heard that. She looked like she was about to pass out. I tried to distract her by talking about college and her future plans, but Shirley overheard and insisted that everything should revolve around the baby. That's when I snapped. I confronted her about her comments, and yeah, it caused a scene in front of the whole family. Our parents had to step in and try to ease the tension. Shirley just brushed it off and accused me of being unsupportive. She claimed I never wanted to see her happy. We exchanged some pretty heated words, and she had the nerve to say that I was jealous of her success with the surrogacy. Like, what success? Making my sister miserable? I didn't say anything to Mary after that because she called me a couple of days later and said she didn't want to talk about it. I respected her wishes and kept my mouth shut. A few weeks passed, and then Mary sent me a text saying she felt overwhelmed with the surrogacy. I was on edge the whole time, so I immediately offered to come over and talk about it, but she declined, saying she needed space. I was freaking out, so I decided to show up unannounced to check on her. When I got there, I kid you not, I heard Shirley and Mary arguing inside the house. I knocked on the door, and Shirley opened it, looking completely frazzled. She told me that Mary was just having a rough day. I insisted on talking to Mary, and she came out looking really upset. Shirley tried to interrupt and said that Mary was being selfish for even considering this surrogacy. That's when Mary shouted that she didn't want to do it anymore. Shirley flipped out and said that Mary was ruining her chance at being a mother, and you could see it just broke Mary's heart. Shirley was so furious and accused me of influencing Mary against her. What the heck? As if I had some magical power to make Mary realize how messed up this whole situation is. I have no idea what to do anymore. I just want to protect Mary, but I feel like I'm fighting a losing battle. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.